Hello family, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new, I am Patience Kakama, and on this channel we talk about real, raw and a little bit inspiring stuff. So sit back and watch. Quick question. Have you ever imagined something going on perfectly and then reality is like, yeah, that's me. Today we are chatting with Vine. Thank you for being here with us. About expectations versus reality, the good, the bad, the what was even that moment. Hey Vine,
Hi, girl.
how are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah.
So
Today we are talking about expectations versus reality. Before we go there, I want the viewers to know who Vine is. And who are you?
Well, I think to keep it brief, I would say my name is Vine Niyerinda in full. I'm Zambian and I'm currently a student here in Serbia, a working student in Serbia.
What does Niyerinda mean?
I don't think our surnames have meanings. At
Really?
least not that I know of. Yeah. not that I know.
Okay.
But Vine means apart from it's a Bible name. I'm the vine branches. It's also, I think, the plant vine. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what are you studying? You said you're a student, so what are you studying?
Yeah, so I'm a business economics student here in Serbia.
That's good.
Yeah, quite a journey.
That is good. And how are you handling books and school?
And books and work. I think, well, there's a balance there, but it's okay. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Okay. What's one big expectation you had growing up that completely flopped in reality?
Ooh, one big expectation. I think growing up, I always expected myself to be a doctor, or I always wanted to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which kind of doctor?
Well, I didn't think that far. I think general doctor.
Mm-hmm.
General doctor, yeah. But then, yeah, reality now. I'm doing something completely different. So, that would be one expectation that probably flopped. Yeah.
But do you think you'd reconsider it?
Oh no, it's just I just grew into something else. I don't think I would reconsider being. Yeah, I think it was a childhood expectation.
Okay. Did your parents convince you to do that, or
Convince me to do medicine?
to be a doctor?
No, actually, I wanted to. It was just something I grew up wanting. I think from when you're young, they ask you questions, what do you want to be, and yeah, I just never changed till I was like in 12th grade. Then when I came to university, the switch.
If you had to describe your expectation versus reality as a meme of life, what would it be?
I think I get a lot of aha moments, like you expect certain things to go a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
There's that meme where it's like a boy, and he's like very confused, doesn't understand what's going on, and then a few seconds later, it's like, okay, that's why that had to happen for this to happen. So I think mostly it's just aha moments,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you just have an expectation, and then when the reality kicks in, you're like,
I think I'm good at adapting and blending into reality. So when something I don't expect happens, I make whatever is, I make reality work, if that makes sense.
Okay, speaking of that, when you are coming from Zambia to come to Serbia, were there any expectations? Like maybe I'm going to go to Serbia to do ABCD and then you found EFG.
Yeah, Yeah. Um, I think everything that I'm doing now is definitely was definitely not the plan.
The reality of it.
Yes, it's definitely a different reality. So coming to Serbia initially, I was here on a scholarship to study medicine. Yeah, and the reality of that is way different. So I came here and of course, without getting into too many details, it's a whole different system, whole different culture. But in all of it, I think I got to learn a little bit more about myself and realize, okay, probably that's not the field for me, and made the switch. But definitely not what I came here for.
Was it the language that?
Everything. I think it was an addition of everything. The language played a major factor. I think it sucked my love out of medicine, if I should say that. But yeah, it's a different ball game coming as a foreigner to a land you probably have not heard much about. Culture differences, you're put into a space or a classroom. At the time, it's just me and one other colleague of mine, and you're put in a class with Serbians who have had this language since birth and expected to perform as they do.
So were you the only black in class?
I was the only black girl.
Really?
There was one other black guy. Yeah. I was a mark.
And how was, what expectation did you have in the class? Like you thought maybe, did you think that people would be friendly or?
Well, I've never been a social bird like that, but I just thought I would come to school and at least understand, like have, an opportunity to learn. But I think I think I underestimated the weight of it, because when you come here, you do learn language. I think we had like 6 months of learning their language, but that's not enough, 6 months of Serbian language could get you around. It could get you around, but definitely not for academic purposes. So when I got in and I got into class and I realized I don't understand anything.
No.
I'm like, tried for like some time, but it's just had to take up other practical means to get it done. But being in class and just trying to have the experience of a student wasn't working.
Speaking of changing the transition from medicine, because you said you came doing medicine, you wanted to do medicine, and then you changed to business economics. So speaking of that, was there ever a point where reality felt like it hit you in the face? How did you handle it?
Yeah, I think from get-go, reality kicked in. I would explain it in this way. So we came, and for those who don't know, we're put in Avala first. That's like a hotel where you get to learn a language for 6 months at least. And then you're thrown into the dorm, and then you have to start school. So I don't think there's enough preparation there mentally. I think people tell you, like, okay, you gotta go to school, and you expect to, find some challenges, but I don't think they prepare you mentally for that.
Did it affect your scholarship when you changed
the whole course? Yeah, it did because I did not want to continue learning in Serbian, first of all, and my scholarship didn't provide an alternative to learning English. So in order to do that, I had to leave. Like you cannot be on scholarship and learn in English. So it did affect the scholarship.
So how did you handle that?
Oh,
was it an easy path, or was it very hard for you?
Definitely easy. I mean, I talked to my parents first. I don't think they know the details. But anyway, they'll find out.
What was the expectation? Like, what was like their reaction to
their reaction?
Your change?
I think it was like divided. I think part from my family was very supportive in the sense that because I think at that point I had lost the love for medicine, or at least discovered that this is something else that I wanted to do regardless of the language. So half of my family was like, do what you love, go for it. And half was like, this is what you wanted, why don't you first finish, then do what you want, but I mean, at the time my mind was made up, so but everybody else who wasn't for the idea, I think, came to love the idea later on. So my expectation of their reaction wasn't what I got. I thought everybody would be totally against it. I thought they would just say no, blank, no. But they were actually very supportive. Not everybody, but mostly very supportive.
So they got to love the whole idea, and
they got to love the whole idea because I think it made me happier regardless. And I think it was for me mostly. So I think if I'm happy, they're happy.
Do you think they were disappointed at first when you told them that?
Definitely, although they did not say it. So I'm the first child. I'm the first child, and in an African home, you don't just come home and say, hey, I don't want to be a doctor anymore, it's a different dynamic. So growing up, it's just not me. I have little siblings looking out for me, Everybody calls me the doctor of the family, It was just so many expectations from everybody. So when I came up with that idea, I was like, are you out of your mind? Most of them thought it's just a phase, because as a med student you have phases where I was like, I'm done today, and tomorrow you continue, but then I was done. So definitely I think some were disappointed, but I think for most of them, I think they got the point. I think I did explain myself well, so it was like, do what you love,
You say siblings, how many are in the family?
Well, it's a blended family. I think, I have to count. Okay, so I have a little brother. Jojo. His name is John. I have a sister. Her name is Masango, and I have 2 older brothers. And I have some siblings from my dad's side as well. 2 brothers. I didn't do the math, but yes.
So in total, it's 5.
6 siblings.
Oh, 6. So speaking of, earlier on you said we're talking about disappointments. And do you think disappointment is necessary for growth?
Definitely. I think as hard a pill it is to swallow, I think it's very necessary. I think you learn a lot from disappointment other than anything else, So I think it's very, very necessary for growth, at least.
Was there a point in your life where you felt this transition of you coming from medicine to, was there a point where it helped you and you're like, oh, actually, if I hadn't done this, I wouldn't be here? That growth moment.
I think I first needed to do medicine or part of medicine for me to learn a few things about myself. So I don't think I regret the entire procedure. I think it was very necessary, to be honest. And most people look at it like, you wasted a few years of your life. And I'm like, no, I think I built on it. So I think a lot that I learned still sticks with me today. Like, I still have a lot of knowledge, or some knowledge, on medicine, which is very helpful, And then I went into the corporate world. So I think, I built on it and wouldn't have had it any other way.
What is something you achieved that looked amazing on the outside, but behind the scenes were completely different? Let it be either maybe the transition from school or general life, like generally, what is that thing we're like, it looks amazing, we see it's amazing, but behind the scenes we are like, You think it's crazy?
I think the scholarship itself. No, really. I think it's this great thing from the outside, which it is. I mean, very grateful for that. But the details of it is very traumatizing for an 18-year-old or 17-year-old or 19-year-old coming from a place where they're used to never, disappointing anybody or never having to fail. But then you come here and, you fail for the first time and it's like, oh, I got this. And you fail for the first, because it's a whole cycle, because the language, first of all, slaps you in the face. Like, you can't compete because you're a step behind. So it's just, I think that the details of that are very, very different from the package of the scholarship itself. Yeah.
So tell me about the scholarship. Well, is it only for people from Zambia, or it's for every? Did you meet other international students here, or?
So it's not only for Zambians, not only for Africans either. I think it came about in the times of Tito, the Serbian history for those who are very familiar. So it's a program that encompasses different countries. It brings different people from different countries here in Serbia, different numbers of course, to meet here and learn, kind of like provide scholarships. So sometimes it's a dual scholarship from that individual country and Serbia. I think for most that I know, the country and Serbia, so different countries actually.
Okay. And you can do any course with that scholarship?
I think the provisions are there. I'm not too sure if it's every course, but they do give you a list of courses you apply for before you even come. So, different courses. Not every course, but most of them very available,
Okay. How has your perception of success changed over the years?
I feel success is such like a broad word. 10 years ago, I would have said, success is probably me finishing university, having a good job. But I think that has entirely changed. So for me, it's just having freedom, because what I want to do always changes with time. I might want to be something this year. Next year, I want to be something else. So I think the end goal is just to have freedom to be able to do whatever I want to do. So success is no longer me having to work for somebody for a long time. It's just me having the freedom to be able to do whatever it is that I want to do, which I probably don't even know right now because it keeps changing. So, adulting, it's a whole trial and error phase.
Okay. What's something you once wanted so badly and got it, but then after some time you realize this isn't it?
Probably my current job. Probably my current job. I prayed, I wanted it, and I still want it, it's good. But then you work and you realize, is this what I want to do for a long time? So definitely my job. Yeah.
What about your job? Is it that you don't like?
Like every other job, it's, it's a job. You work. But it's just the constant reporting to somebody, and, it's like, I feel, it's like you're not working on your own terms, and of course you can't work on your own terms because you're employed, and that just doesn't sit with me. Like, I could do it for a period of time, but I just like to do what I want. Maybe I'm a little rebellious, I don't know, but I just don't like having to report to somebody all the time.
Oh, okay. You want to be your own independent self.
My own boss.
Let's talk about a vacation, a date, or even an event, and you hyped up for it in your head and it went hilariously wrong?
I can't think of something very particular, but there's this vacation we took, my friends and I, and it was in the middle of January, winter. It was no, a few years ago, I think 3-4 years ago. It was in the middle of winter and probably not the best time, but the best time for the activity we wanted to go to. We wanted to go ice skating or skiing. Yeah, so we did go and we ended up skiing, but then the walk back to where our bus was so long. We hadn't anticipated the distance, and it was quite cold. I don't think we were in appropriate attire, so it was very, a good day, which ended up being, quite adventurous.
That leads me to the next question. Have you ever posted something online that made your life look so perfect, but the real story was a mess?
I think that's all the time for us. I think, not for us, but for most people, I think we only post our best moments or best parts. And not that everything else is a mess, but that's just like the best parts. And sometimes, it's not always what you see, So yeah, I think.
But then if you're seeing a very beautiful person on Instagram, that means they're beautiful.
Well, yeah, most moments are true, but I think we only capture the best parts, not the full story. So on that day, I might have been maybe happy for only that hour when I was taking my picture, but you don't know the full story of what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think for most of us.
What's something people can do today to stop letting unmet expectations define their worth?
Would you repeat that?
What's something people can do today to stop letting the unmet expectations define their worth?
I think people could start looking a little bit into themselves a bit more. I think sometimes we're so drawn into all the noise around us, what you should be doing, especially as young adults, like right now, you have other people in your ear all the time on what you're supposed to do now, what you're supposed to wear, where you're supposed to be. And I think if you sit down for a while and just in silence, just listen to yourself, I think all of us know deep down, where we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to do, or at least the next step. So I think if you can focus on yourself a little bit, you can block out the noise more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for example, these people who are, let's say, who see like a destination wedding on Instagram looking so fabulous, and they wanted to have that kind, but their partners are not that financially stable, and they get to have something similar to that, but not exactly how it was. And what do you think people can do to let, because when they have that kind, let's say they start feeling that maybe I have a very broke partner, or he's not the right man for me, people are going to the Maldives and I'm not going to the Maldives. So do you think that advice that you've said would let people do today to undefine that?
Well, one thing is we can't stop people from posting or living their lives. It's gonna be there, so that part we cannot control, right? But then, like I said again, the perspective at which you're viewing these destination weddings, or it's not a bad thing to want certain things, good things. I think everybody wants a great wedding. JP 2025. Yeah, it's lovely, it would be nice. I would say it's not a bad thing. Actually, sometimes it's quite encouraging, quite inspiring. So I think some things we need to see for, inspiration purposes. But then how you go about attaining those things. Like, do you want that just because, or like, are you willing to take certain steps to have that? Because 50-50, but I don't think it's entirely a terrible thing that someone should want something good. I think it's how they go about trying to get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as you're closing this whole session, what advice would you give to your younger self dealing with expectations?
Okay, so for my younger self, I think expectations are good actually. I think it's good to want certain things for yourself and work towards them. But also, it's very important to know that you have to have room for change, because a lot of change happens and a lot of growth takes place. So you could expect one thing now and expect the next, the next thing in your next phase. So I'd say move quickly, if things don't go your way, move on and find the next thing, find your next goal, your next step, So my younger self, I'd say keep expecting.
Keep expecting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are saying keep expecting, but then how do you stay grounded when reality doesn't meet the vision?
Okay, for me personally, I don't know how other people handle it, but I just have this strong belief that regardless of what happens, I'm gonna be fine. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's just delusional, but I've always been fine regardless of what has happened. So I'm not too phased when something doesn't go the way I want it to be. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sad, I cry, I'm down. Sometimes I give up for a while and I get back up, but the end goal, I know I'll be fine. And maybe because God plays a big role in that, everything works for those who love Him. So I just know that regardless, I'm good because He's got us,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm never too phased if my expectations or reality does not meet my expectations.
Okay, thank you so much, Vine, for this wonderful, edutaining session. At some point, I was a bit emotional at the beginning parts, but I really appreciate your time and having this talk with me. And thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
For those who are there, the young girls most especially, if you have an issue, if you have a problem with expectations, let's say you're battling with them and you are not accepting the reality, just like Vine has said, you have to keep expecting and do not give up. Thank you so much for this wonderful show, and thank you for watching. Have a good night.